these are my thoughts on Harry Kane not showing up to training. This is some really sensational and all of a sudden mind-blowing news that has just happened. Now, this has literally come out at the time of filming about, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes ago, where it just suddenly pops up. I was in the middle of planning another video and literally editing, but I guess I got to move on to this now. And I'm going to be explaining my thoughts on this whole situation. Now, it's not a surprise that the news about Harry Kane just comes back on the news again, because this has been a hot topic for sports journalists to talk about. But this is something that has changed to another level. Harry Kane was recently on holiday and has then not showed up to training when he was supposed to. Now, I'm just going to show you some tweets very quickly. So this is a tweet from Fabrizio Morano saying, confirmed, Harry Kane has not shown up for Tottenham training as revealed. Been told it's Harry Kane's choice and not related to a COVID test. Hashtag THFC. Kane is assuming that he has had a gentleman agreement with the club since 1 year to leave Spurs this summer. Just to clear up very quickly, what is a gentleman's agreement? Well, according to Google, a gentleman's agreement is an arrangement or understanding which is based upon the trust of both or all parties rather than being legally binding. Now, I can understand that. This was probably from a year ago when, I think at the start of lockdown, the first lockdown, I might be mistaken on this, but Harry Kane has specifically stated that if he doesn't see changes in the club, then he doesn't see any reason to stay and would want to go elsewhere to consider his future. This was also revealed in an interview with Jamie Redknapp when he was talking to him for a Sky Sports interview. There have been other interviews as well when he spoke to Gary Neville about his thoughts on the whole situation. It's clear that he wants things to work out at Tottenham, but he doesn't want to stay or stay put if things aren't going to change to his favour. That is his stance on it. So for him to all of a sudden not turn up to training is a huge extreme and drastic approach that he has decided to do as well. Another tweet from Tottenham correspondent Ali Gold saying, Harry Kane was expected back at Hotspur Way today for various tests, but has not turned up thus far. Told Giovanni Lo Celso and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg returned earlier than expected and have been back in training for a few days. That is from Ali Gold. Now, when Ali Gold pops that sort of news, us Tottenham fans don't feel as assured, because normally Ali Gold likes to shut down the negative news, but it seems that Ali Gold is actually in agreement with this negative news in terms of its reliability. I'm just going to explain my thoughts very quickly. So obviously we have now got a new manager, Nuno, that is. Nuno's priority would obviously be wanting to keep hold of Harry Kane, but, you know, for Harry Kane to pull this sort of move doesn't look too good on him. It doesn't look too good on Harry Kane either, because Harry Kane has got only 2 years left of his contract, but he has actually got no power, because like I said with the gentleman agreement, it is not legally binding. It's just more of a sort of verbal agreement that he must have had with Levy and any other club officials. So the only way for Kane really to get his move to City, if he wanted that City move, is for him to just basically not show up to training and take matters into his own hands. Arguably, I guess that is not very professional-like behaviour, but can you... This is the thing, like, when I want to play devil's advocate, do you honestly blame Harry Kane too much for doing that? I mean, you look at Tottenham, we've not been playing well at all. We haven't even finished for Europa League. West Ham finished above us to take that. We've actually been... We're actually only qualified for Europa Conference League, whatever it's called. And a quality of Harry Kane to be playing in that sort of league, it just don't sound right, does it? There is a small chance that maybe Sky are like trying to twist this news around. I mean, I say that because the only way to get into the Tottenham training ground is to have a negative PCR test. I don't know the full details, but I know he's very recently only just got back from holiday, and maybe there's a chance that he didn't sort the PCR test out. Tottenham haven't made a comment about it yet, and maybe that's the only reason why he has not shown up to training. But honestly, me being a cynic, Harry Kane is getting frustrated and sick and tired with the way this club is running, and he wants to force his move to Man City. That's the approach I'm going to take, I'm afraid. I don't think I can try and be optimistic about this. It's a real big shame, because I would have liked for Harry Kane to have maybe left if he was going to leave on more dignifying terms. I mean, you look at players like Jack Grealish, who, you know, could be out of Aston Villa, but is still turning up to training. The same with players like Wilfried Zaha, who has been linked so many times out of the club, but has still turned up to training. So I think that is quite unprofessional on Harry Kane's part to not turn up for training. But having said that though, as a Tottenham fan myself, I've been more than happy with the way he has been for this club, the way he has served this club, the way he has tried his hardest for this club. And if he wants to go to City, honestly, he's got my full blessing, because the way we are as a club, I don't think any top player, regardless to where they came from, whether it was another club or the youth, would want to stick about and stay for that. Those are my thoughts on Harry Kane not showing up for training. I'd like you guys to let me know in the comments below what you think of this, the reliability from Sky Sports. Do you think this is just twisting some news about, or do you think that this is accurate and this is true? I also want you guys to think, you know, because I've had like so many arguments about this with other Tottenham fans in the space of literally 20 minutes. Some which I'm going way too extreme, calling him a snake. I mean, the definition of a snake in my book is leaving your club on a free and going to your rivals. So I think that is a bit of an overreaction, because, you know, this is football. Football is about different opinions, end of the day. In my opinion, like I said, I don't think that what Kane is doing is right, not turning up to training. But when you look at the circumstances and the amount of times that we have had, can you really blame him? I mean, City bid 100 million for Kane back in June, I think it was. That was rejected. Either City will up their money up, or Kane will probably continue to refuse to play for the club, and then maybe Levy might be put in a spotlight where he'll just have to go for the highest possible, even if it's under the 160 million mark, in order to let Kane go. I also want you guys to know, let me know your thoughts. Is this the right thing that Kane is doing to try and force a move to City, or are there standards, are there principles where you put your club first? I mean, if I've got to be honest with you, this has been an ongoing thing that's been going on for ages now. And, you know, I think when nothing is done, stunts like that tend to happen where the player just wants to go. And to be honest, I've seen it before. I've seen it with Bell, I've seen it with Modric, I've seen it with Berbatov. You know, great players that force their move out. And unfortunately, this is just the nature of how it is, when there's a much better club out there and a player would much rather want to go there. But those are my thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Let me know once again in the comments below your thoughts on Harry Kane not showing up to training. Do you think that this is the final nail in the coffin for Kane to leave to get to City? You let me know in a bit, guys.